Welcome back to Tutorial Tidbits and welcome to my channel. I'm Elizabeth St. Hilaire, and this week I'm going to show you how to make a really cool mixed media background in about 5 minutes, because I've got some brand new rice paper designs with joggles that are great mixed media patterns. So if you've got a few minutes, let's go check it out. So I'm super excited to announce these mixed media background rice papers. These are printed on high quality rice paper in Italy by Joggles, and they are archival laser prints. So that means that they are going to resist fading, they're going to resist UV light, they are not going to smear or bleed when you add water or paint or glue to them. And basically what they are is mixed media backgrounds that I have created to put paintings on top of, and I have saved them out for you to use in your own artwork. So all of these postage stamps and old letters and envelopes and items that I have sourced from eBay and Etsy to create these backgrounds, and that gets time intensive and expensive. I have created these backgrounds. I have photographed them for you so that you can now glue them down and add your own image on top. So how beautiful is this? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different designs on A4 rice paper. Rice paper is highly absorbent. It glues down perfectly flat without any bubbling, buckling, or cockling. What does that mean? That means we can lay these down in a background and they will go down perfectly flat because they are highly absorbent, high quality rice paper. So I've got here an 8x10 wood painting panel that I have primed with golden GAC 100. GAC 100 is an acrylic polymer primer, and it is used to eliminate support-induced discoloration. That is a big word, a big phrase, a big saying. What does that mean? Basically, that means that wood is acidic. This is the support. If we don't seal it with something, the acid from that wood will eventually leach through your artwork and turn it yellow. And we don't want it to turn it yellow. However, the kind of golden color of this is going to make, when this paper glues down over it, because the paper is a little bit translucent. I think you can see that a little bit. It's a 30 GSM, so it is a thin rice paper. It'll glue down really nice and flat, but I'm really excited about putting it over this golden kind of wood color background rather than pure white, because I think that's going to work with it because they're all sort of in a golden tone. So I've sealed it with 2 coats of GAC 100. I'm not going to put gesso on it. This is a cradled wood panel. That means when I'm done, I'll put 2 hooks and a wire in here. I'll finish the edges with a solid color, and I won't need to frame it. So that saves me a lot of money, and it keeps it with a contemporary look without a great big old, ornate frame molding. So you can do this with any one of these papers. So let's look at the ones that we've got. I've got this one with an old addressed envelope from 1931 and a lot of great postage stamps in the back. And this gives you sort of a neutral middle ground space where you can put a bird or a flower or something without it being too busy. I've got this one. This is number 5. The first one, this one is number 4. Okay, this one is number 5. It's a little bit more busy. It's got some addressed envelopes, some letters, some maps, and some stamps, and a lot of vintage stuff going on. That's number 5. This one has got sort of in real life, it's got sort of a tint over it that tones it back a little bit, makes everything look a little bit like an encaustic effect, like you're looking at it through wax. It's got miniature playing cards, postage stamps, canceled stamps, some ephemera, some handwriting, etc. That is number 3. This one is loads of fun. This is a really cool old letter background, and I've got crackle paste on it. So if you look at it closely, there's crackle paste that I applied over this background, and then I photographed it in high resolution. So it's a beautiful base for a subject that would go right in here and has this really interesting crackle paste edge and that sepia vintage look. And that is number 2. This one is number 6. This is like strips of different what do you call these? I don't know, receipts, bills, letters, and strips. So it's got sort of a stripy effect. And that one is called number 6. And then lastly, this one is number 1. And this one, again, this has got an old payroll check, some sheet music, somebody's grocery list or something, address envelopes, postage stamps, and another letter from 1931. So it's difficult to pick one of these to work with. I love all of them. But I think I would either go, I think I would like to use this one, or geez, I just love this one with the crackle paste and the sepia tone. So let's go with this one. So any of them will work for this, but I'm just going to show you how to adhere it to the board, and then once it's down, you can sketch and paint and draw your subject on top. Whether that subject is collage or you want to adhere something else over the top. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go with this one because I have an idea. I want to show you how to embellish this a little bit further, any of them actually, a little bit further to sort of give it, start with my base, but make it a little bit your own, okay? So first we're going to line it up and glue it down. This is as I mentioned, it's an A4, so it's a little bit bigger. It's probably 8.5 by 14, okay? So I am going to be using Liquitex Gloss Gel Medium. I use the gloss because it will not dull the intensity of my colors with a matte surface. The matte product works technically, but it is not optically clear. It has pumice floating in it to dull the shine, and that can dull the intensity of this paper when you glue it down. Ultimately, I finish all my work with a satin varnish, so at the end, I knock back the shine from the gel medium with a little bit of satin varnish, and all's well that ends well. It's not super shiny, but everything is vibrant and not dulled down. So you want to make sure you get your gloss gel medium all the way out to the corners, all the way out to the edges, and that you spread on a good, decent layer of it. And it sets up kind of quickly. So once we've got it all laid out there, we're going to then quickly add the paper. So I'm going to line this up in the upper left-hand corner because I really like those postage stamps. And I'm going to try my best with my reading glasses to get that all lined up. And then I'm going to smooth it all down. And here I've got a small little self-healing cutting mat and my X-Acto blade. So I'm going to flip this over. Let's make sure we got it all smoothed out. Okay. And then I don't want to cut my nonstick craft mat surface, so I'm just going to use this little cutting mat. And first thing, I'm going to take the new blade and I'm going to cut it along the bottom edge. Take that off and then cut it along the side edge. It's important that you use a new blade. Don't grab something with an old blade that you can't remember the last time you changed it so that it's ripping it. You want it to really cut it nicely. So now look at this. We've got this great, immediate mixed media background. You didn't have to buy stamps. You didn't have to go to Etsy, eBay. You didn't have to go to yard sales, estate sales to collect all this stuff. And that is what the original one that I created was made from. All original ephemera. But now you've got it immediately. So what I do on these is I'm going to finish the edges with a solid color that kind of picks up something from the front. Sometimes I'll do it in black. But I have a lot of postage stamps that I got off paper. So I could actually run postage stamps all around the edge to repeat what's going on in the front with these postage stamps. That could be fun. And I will give you a link for off-paper postage stamps down below. All the links for the products in this video will be down below. But those postage stamps, they would be great around the edges if you didn't want to paint a solid color. So, speaking of the postage stamps, what you might like to do, just to make it look a little bit more authentic, is to add a couple of actual postage stamps to the top, you know, sort of to give it a few of your own elements. So here I've got some postage stamps, some vintage postage stamps. You can get those from joggles.com, and I'm just going to put them down in this corner. So I'm going to apply more of that Liquitex gloss gel medium down in this corner, and I'm going to just add, you know, if you had some stamps and you just want to add a couple of elements of stamps, maybe you've got a favorite stamp or something that is meaningful to you that you want to add into this, just to give it a little bit of your own pizzazz. Okay, so I've got that on there. So I've added that to the top. Now, the next thing I want to show you is I've gathered some tissue papers from Amazon that have some metallic patterns on them. And these are beautiful because the tissue disappears when you glue it down and you're just left with the metallic pattern. So this is another way that I can add my own kind of touch to embellish this background without a lot of effort or expense. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this starry tissue paper, and I'm going to put it over kind of, I don't know, I think I'll add it over in here. I'll put a little bit more gloss gel medium, and I'll even go over the postage stamps, and I'll glue it down, and I'll just wrap any excess around the edge like that. And you're going to want to press the glue down and kind of press it into it. And the more you do that, the more glue you apply on the top and you press down in, that tissue is going to disappear and you're going to be adding some stars to that background. So now we've added a couple of elements that kind of make it your own. So you've started with the mixed media background rice paper, but now you're adding some stamps, you're adding a little bit of star elements, you're kind of creating your own background. So let's just add a little bit of this super metallic. Maybe that would look nice up here, or maybe over here. We could even add it on that side. Oh, I don't know. Maybe here. I want to get rid of that straight edge for sure. And maybe I'll put it over here or up here. Maybe like that. Okay, so we could go over some of these stamps. So again, we'll put down the gloss gel medium. We'll put down a little bit of that tissue, and we'll press the medium into it, adding a lot of pressure and a little extra medium. And that will cause that tissue to just sort of melt into the background. And then we'll have that really lovely metallic. Now this speckly metallic is actual metallic, and the stars are metallic, but they're not quite as shiny. So I will link these two tissue papers down below because they're great to add to mixed media backgrounds. And you can see right through it. It's just adding that speckle and the stars. And now I'm going to add one more stamp. I'm going to put it right on top of this stuff here. Put that right in there. There. And now I've started with this beautiful mixed media rice paper from Joggles. It's glued down. You see it's completely flat. It doesn't have a single wrinkle in it, even though I did this large sheet, because it's so highly absorbent and 30 grams. So it's nice and thin. And now I've got this beautiful mixed media background that I just added a couple of elements to create a whole personalized background that's a little bit different than the rice paper itself. So I hope that you're as excited about these as I am. They're great for an 8x10. They're great for an 8x8. You could always get 2 sheets of one. You could cut it here and add another section. I mean, you could slice them together to work for bigger sizes. For example, here's 2 sheets, right? So we could put the 2 together. We could flip-flop them and line them up like that, or not even flip-flop them and line them up like this, and glue them down to a larger piece. So you could put 4 sheets of this together or mix and match with the other sheets to create your own mixed media ephemera backgrounds. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope you are as inspired with the rice paper as I am, and as excited as I am, because this is going to be the base for a lot of beautiful projects. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I hope that you'll subscribe and hang around for a while. I've got a lot of really great content on collage and gel printing and creativity, and you never know what's going to happen next. So welcome, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week.